Good afternoon. This is where we get our icons for nothing and our sprites for free. Or something like that. Let's have a see. Okay, so what are we doing? So we are working on the icon rendering for the window manager. Last week we let AI deal with most of the work because, well, we wanted to show that you can do that. Just because it's RISC OS things, you can still make stuff work. And we did pretty well. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and remember where we were up to because, yeah, I don't really remember. Did we actually push this? Was this pushed? I don't know. Oh, we've got lots of little bits left. Oh, lots of stuff done. Did we not commit it at all? No, that's because this is the wrong directory. This is the wrong one. We want to be in the other directory here. This was my practice to see that we actually could do something useful. That's much better. Yeah, so we've got some things here. So important bits we've got these images page 0 through to page 3, which are the actual images. So if we have a look at them, we've got page 0, which looks like that. And we should be able to launch these to see what's going on. So we're going to look in the AF32 directory here. Yeah, there we go, plot icon. And I believe I can just specify, so pyrodev, -64. Oh, how did we do this? No, I don't remember how we did it. So let's just do AF32.plot icon. Okay, let's try plot icon. Draw the sprites. Run. Oh, that's loading the module. I don't want to load the. Oh yes, yes, that's loading the module and then calling plot icon test. Yeah, that's the one we want. And then we save it to screen, and then we might as well open screen.png. Okie dokie. So this will. Oh, this is going to show me version page 3. All right, we'll start with page 3 then. Let's just move that. Leave that one there. Let's go grab page 3. So this is what page 3 should look like. And it'll go and do it, and then we get one of these. So little bits that are different. So it's got the bordering is a little bit too thick. Okay, we can fix that. We've got the sprites coming out wrongly. If we have a look at the text here, these look okay. They don't look like they're really. I mean, it looks like that one, the one that I'm getting from Pyromaniac, is actually wrong. It looks like it's doing the spacing in the wrong place, but this is doing it right. So this is good, this is good, this is good, this one's good, this is good, this is good, this is good, and this is good. So we're looking not bad here. We've got some bits already we can have a look at. That's cool. But what we want to do is we want to be able to actually say that these things really are working, and what we have is a tick list of what should work. So we've got plain borders, filled background using the desktop colors. Yeah, looks like, so I'll bring that window over here. They are using the desktop colors, so that seems to be good. I can probably tick that off. Text in the desktop font, we know that should be working, but we can, I've ticked it anyway. Text in desktop anti-alias, yes, it is using that. Oh, we haven't actually tested it with system font. Probably want to actually test it with that. Colored text, that's on another window. So what we'll do is we'll work through all of these and make sure that they're working. We'll see whether we actually have got things doing what we expect. We've got this using the fake dummy module interface at the moment. Later we can build it into Wimp plot icon, but it's all going to be just quite easy to integrate at that point. Okay, so there's little bits with that that we can do. So what should we look at first? Should we look at the bordering first, because the bordering is probably the easiest of these to do. We can see what we've got out of that. Potentially that's not going to have been showing the right thing. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll go back to here and I'll quickly show you what I was showing. I've set it so that it automatically switches windows when I've got the I click on the preview window, so that's not going to work properly like that. Yeah, so plain borders, filled borders, all these things here and these here. So if anybody wants to have a look at the list, this is the list we've got. Oh, and I should probably give you the repository as well, so you can follow along if you want. Cool, there we are. So there's quite a lot of things that we've got working. Oh, and the program, by the way, that's being used is this one. So if you have a look here, this is the actual program that's used. So you can see that and run it on your own machine if you want and see what happens. These are the captured versions of those different images. Oh, right. So it's going to be fun, this, isn't it? Right, we want to make sure that these borders come out like bordered, but not thick. So let's have a see what we've done here. So if you remember from last week, we let the AI get on with things and we sort of went, it's doing stuff, oh wow, and left it to its own devices, just pointing out things when it made mistakes and fixing stuff up with suggestions. This is the original goal we gave it and told it to do, and it then got on with stuff. But a lot of the code we didn't actually pay much attention to. It was converted from Python code. So you can see here, here's the examples here. And actually, I think that's probably what's going wrong. So when it renders the border, pixel size, get from G-context, yes, we probably ought to. Default border colors. So that's all it's doing. So it looks like this code is wrong, doesn't it? Because it's saying the pixel size is that, and it's doing -1 on each of them. So it should actually be doing X pixel and Y pixel here for the sizes and pulling those out. So we'll just make it use those to begin with. So we'll have X pixel, which is the size of an X pixel, and then Y. Oh, except that's not the same, is it? I don't think that's the same as what the original did. Is it? Because if it is, it's wrong. If it is, it's wrong. Let's have a look at the Python. So where do we find the Python? Python will be in plot icon. Oh, it's probably in icon borders. We've probably actually got a file called icon borders because I told it to try and keep the same file names. There we go. So icon borders. There. So here we go. It knows the pixel sizes. Inner box, that's just working out the sizings on things. This is not the same. In fact, this is really not the same because it's doing things with different color. Oh, I don't know. I think that algorithm is different. If we look back at this, yeah, so it sets the colors, but pixel size should be the minimum of those two. Yeah, that's not doing the same thing. Oh, the -1 is, yeah, the -1 is right. Pixel size. Okay, so now I'm understanding it. Right, this is because of the it's half open. Your right hand side is not. If you say draw from 0 to 2, you get the pixel at 0 and the pixel at 2 filled in, which you don't want. You want the pixel from 0 to 1, which is the same pixel. So that's what that's correcting for. Yeah, so it's doing the colouring slightly differently here because it's actually setting the colours and then doing the move and draw. What's this bit for? Why is it doing that? It's trying to make up for the fact that it wants to get a diagonal line on it, I think. I think that's what it's trying to do there. But the algorithm is just different. So what I'm going to do, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split screen this. So let's do this full size and then we'll split screen it and make it test again. So view, you can't see this bit, but I'm going to do it in 2 rows. Thank you very much. And we'll have the Python version down here and this code here. I wouldn't be surprised if there was one. Straylight were pretty good at being able to make decent borders on this. I know this is maybe the 4th or 5th time that I've actually implemented this code. One of the other areas I did it in might even be in G context, does it using triangles rather than doing lines, because then you can basically have the rest of the system handle it for you. There's advantages and disadvantages doing each way, I suppose. Let's have a see what we can get out of this, shall we? So X pixel and Y pixel. Copy. So pixel size is going to be the minimum of those two. X pixel is less than Y pixel. X pixel equals, no, sorry, pixel size. Be interesting to try and find that thread, because many of those threads are still archived on Google's Groups interface, though goodness knows how long that will last, because it's Google after all. They do kill stuff. X pixel. This is largely because I don't remember whether we've got a min function defined. Right. Oh, if width is 1, width equals pixel size. Is that? Yeah, that should be the thing that's taking care of this. Let's have a see. Go through all of those. There we go. Less than or equals. Width here, that's always a what do we call it? A exclusive point, not a inclusive. So that's why that loop is different. Interesting that it didn't spot that. That is quite an oddity, that one. These are the things like left and right. Okay. Now there's that pixel positioning thing that's come out here. Ah, right. I see what's going on there. Right. I'm going to leave that for the moment. Yeah, I'm going to leave that difference for the moment. We'll just use pixel size, and we'll just compile that and see whether it does the right thing, because I think it should. Bugs in 3D icons was re-changing. Ah, right. Well done. I'll have a look into that. That'll be quite fun to find. In fact, let's just try that. 97. Dear gosh. Not only does that make me feel old, but Dave remembered that. Put that in there. And look for Google Group CSA. I'll just do that, yeah. Oh, you didn't find it? Yeah, unfortunately you can't paste links, can you, on there? Do I have to go to groups to do it? Cut groups.google.com. What? Why do I need to sign in? Are you kidding me? Learn all about using guest mode. You put it on Slack. Okay, let me go to Slack. Give me a second whilst that starts up again. And we'll have a look. That's very weird. Come on, start up. Oh, whilst that's doing, I have to get this to build, can't I? RISC OS ammo, not build 64, make mod. Thank you very much. Copy link. Is he going to ask me to log in again? Oh no, there we go. Yeah. Ooh. Jump to a particular place. All right. Oh God, Sculpture. Yeah, Andrew Clover, Doggy Soft as well. Oh yeah. And people are still cursing the fact that EX0 EY0 looks like Tat. It's not very good. Yeah. It's amusing that that was way back then and it's still a problem now. I don't think EX0 EY0 came up that badly. Yeah, border util was a thing that would go and patch parts of the Wimp, I think, to do things. Oh, yummy. Right, I'll look at that one later. Let's not spend the time reading this whilst we're doing the live coding, shall we? This is quite interesting, though. Who's this? Andrew Clover. Yeah, that makes sense. Andrew was always very clever and sensible about things. Yep, that's a quite nice assumption there. Style guide's always useful. It gives you a good guidance as to what you can do. Right, anyway, so we were trying to do this. We were trying to look at what happened to this icon. So pull that up and give us a new image. Think. I don't think that actually loaded it. It didn't. What? It's reloaded and it's here. It's exactly the same. Exactly the freaking same. So that didn't work. Alright. That's odd. Built properly, yeah. And we ran it and it... Did we run the right module? We did. Oh, we're sending this over to the build service to do stuff. Gosh, that's heavyweight. We could actually run it locally. We could actually run it locally, couldn't we? That would be a whole lot easier. Meh. Not going to matter. So we're still getting this coming out wrongly, with the borders getting the wrong size. Why is that, do we think? Pixel size, width equals pixel size, plus equals the width is that. And the width for 0 is 1. Oh, sorry, 1 there. That's the count of items. So width of 1, which means it should just draw 1 pixel. Oh no, it was right. It was right, that. That was less than. Whilst it is less than. So, I feel stupid now. But then why is this coming out oddly? Is that not even needed? Because it'll always be bigger than 1. We just want it the thinnest it can be. RISC OS ammo make file mod fe1 and hi Andrew, it's fine, don't worry. Hang on, that didn't rebuild. That didn't do anything. I just changed the code and it didn't do anything. Why didn't it do anything? No, it did do something and I just wasn't paying attention. All right. Hang on, what? Right, I just changed that file. Had I already built it? Is that what I did? No, I just changed the file and it didn't cause a rebuild. Why didn't it cause a rebuild? Are we looking at the same directory? Copy file path. AC has gone on for the first time this year. Yes, it has been very, very hot today. I've got my fan on, I've got the window open, and I'm hoping. I'm in the wrong directory. This is the wrong directory, that's why. This is not the code this is the experimental code that I did previously. So let's get rid of that. And let's have a look at this one instead. You just put it on the wrong blooming screen. Here we are. Right, okay. What we'll do is we'll clean everything. We haven't fixed the colours yet, Andrew, no. What I'm doing is I'm just working my way through things that were obvious. So we're going to give this a whirl. That's more like it. Right, so if we have a look in here, we'll have a look at the icon borders code and see what it made of it. That's a slightly different pattern here. Type what to do when selected, and yeah, okay, so a slightly different different pattern to it. Rendering, and then it does rectangle fills, and this time it has forgotten to do the -1s. That's why it's not giving us the right answers here. So all the Y1s need a -1 on them. Y1 here, a Y1 here, a Y1 there, everywhere, here, there, here, a Y1 there, a Y1 everywhere, a Y1. That's not easy to say. I mean, not that you'd want to say it really that much anyway. Doop, doop, doop. Right, let us try building and running that again and see if we get any better. Yeah, we're sending it off to the build service again, which we probably don't need to do. I don't want 0. Let's get rid of that. Show me all the icons. Have I? No. Thank you. All right. So I've accidentally closed the wrong one. In fact, I've accidentally closed 2 of them. Screen. Yeah, I see it's hardwired there. I should probably do that. You're right. Fix me. Right. So here's what we're getting, and then open page3.png, and here's what we want. So we still haven't fixed the border, which is odd, because I thought that should have fixed it. So did we rebuild it? We rebuilt a module, good. Oh, I didn't clean it though. Let me do a clean, make my def clean, because I did clean in the wrong. Oh, I did clean it. No, I did clean it and then rebuild it. That was right. Less than width plus equals width size. So. And we should be doing x minus 1, y minus 1, plus 1. Oh, I thought that should do the right thing. We got the widths in the right places. So for type 0, we get a width of. What's that? Type, selected, count. Oh, width is this one here. So it's yeah, width of 1, which becomes 2, which becomes just 1 pixel. Here's a module that allows users to select the width of the border. That would be easy enough to do. It's absolutely trivial. You could do it with the examples we've already got. Very, very simple. I'm not understanding why this is coming out wrong. It just feels odd to me. But it's, in fact, the rectangle fill is wrong here as well, isn't it? Because that's not going to do the same pattern. It should be a line on here. It should always be a line. Yes, it should always be a line, because if you do a rectangle, it's going to come out drawing too much. Does it need to be pixel size rather than 1? On here, it shouldn't need to be, I don't think, because I want I just pixel size would work as well, I think, but I always do mine as 1 because it's putting it into the area. What I've always wanted to see is a shadow cast behind the filer windows to make them stand out a touch, and some shading. Yeah, because there isn't a proper compositor for the Wimp, you don't get that kind of effects out of things. On the other hand, I did implement that some time ago as a nasty, horrible hack. I don't think I have the code, but I don't know if it's available. Gerph rambles, shadow, window, desktop support. This one? No, it doesn't. That's shadow on the dragger sprite, that's not it. So it would have been the patches for the desktop, I expect. Doesn't look, that was pretty, like that, color menus. No, it doesn't look like I've got an example of it, which is a pity, because it was quite pretty. But WM colors, standard colors for each window. That was interesting. Patches. No, none of them. Patch at lower level. No, none of them. Nah, apparently I didn't capture that one. I might drag it out later and see if I can make it work on one of the older emulators. Because it would have to be RISC OS 3.0, I think. 3.1, sorry, not 3.0. If I change this to a line, is it going to work better? Probably be better, wouldn't it? So let's do, how do I draw a line? I've forgotten how to draw a line. RISC OS kitten, not RISC OS, sorry, c:\context.h.gcontext. Right, how do we draw a line? I just don't know how to do this. Line, rectangle fill is the one we've got there. Line start, oh, because it's multiple calls, isn't it? Yeah, multiple calls, because they could be different colors. But that should be the same nonetheless. Screw it. Border. Little bit of debugging. Border rendering and for type. Send type. Border type. Bordering step. Send I. That'll do. Just do step. I'll print out how many steps it actually drew. Oops. Save. Build and run. Oh. Let's see what we get out of this one. So there you go, step 0. It's doing it in zeros every time, so it looks like this rectangle is just drawing too much. I wonder if that means that my rectangle drawing in G-context isn't right. That's possible. That's quite possible. Embarrassing, but possible. So given that that might be the case, let's just turn it into lines instead. Which is going to be unfun, but we can do it because it's basically just re-implementing what we had in the other window. So I'm just put it into the other window, please. View, layout, rows 2. Thank you very much. And then in here we want to get the icon borders pi. I think it's something like that. Yeah, I'm not. It's really frustrating how it works or fails to. So this is the rendering implementation we want, and it's very weird here. So we can actually do this. Okay, I'm just going to have to re-implement it the same way, aren't I? So we're going to have to do G-context, not rectangle fill. This is going to start out with the top as a line start in what color? In color that one there. And then we do a line. Is it line? I think we said it was line, didn't we? Line. Yeah, there we go. And then line end at the end of it, just to make it consistent. Fair enough. So here we go. So there's line, and we do that for the X and the Y. That's these bits here. Yeah, looks okay. I believe that's the. Oh, it says minus pixel size there. We don't have a minus pixel size on this one. Only on this one. Oh, because yeah, because of the way that we're drawing the lines. That makes sense. Yes. So then we have all of this. Let's just copy it. It'll be quicker for me to do it that way. So the AI did create an algorithm, just not the algorithm we were using. And the reason for that was because of how it decided, oh, I'm going to do it slightly differently. Which, yeah, fair enough. This is partly done this way to make it optimized, but yeah. Line, this is the second bit. Hang on. So this is the left border we're trying to do, isn't it? Okay, we're going to have to convert the code differently because they've in the AI it's drawn it left bottom, left then bottom, then right, then left. So top, bottom, left, right, rather than drawing them around, which is curious. I mean, it does a similar thing, but not the same. So let's see, left line here is left side. So let me get the left coordinates. That's these ones here. Cut those out and put them in here. And then we'll check that they actually match up to what it's trying to do here. So it's actually going to be hang on, the top. Hang on. What's going on here? Okay. Yeah, so it's doing these backwards. Interesting. There. So top right to left, is what we've got here. Minus pixel size, that's not correct there. Hang on. I've done this wrong. What have I got? So I've got X, Y, and then to the left. That's right, yeah. So there we go. There we are. Now this is the left here. Left line from the top left, which is Y1. That's not minus pixel size there. It's just not doing that. One. To X0, Y0. Y0. That's the left border. And then the left border, if we've changed colour, is different. It is another line start with a line ends just before it. How is it possible that icon rendering is taking so much code to write? This is drawing the borders around icons. I mean, try it yourself. It's not easy. Remember, you can't use anything other than line drawing operations and fills. That's all you can do. Color. It's not the one we want because that's now. Except that's not the color of the top. That's the color of the left we want there. Because this is the left line. And that color selection is wrong as well, isn't it? So this is the top one here equals the left one here. Left. End context, draw the right one. Oh, left one, sorry. The brain. Right, but this does a line that is different to the one that we had previously. Because we're coming down by 1 pixel to keep that preserved. By pixel size Y. Yep, that's right. I know there was a Y usage in here we were missing. And then we draw it to 0. There we go, left border done. Okay, next one. So once we've done top, left, we now need to do bottom. And the AI got it wrong when it was converting the code, because this is the Python code that I originally had, and it has not done the right thing. It's done something that's similar, but it's not right. And I could have told it, no, that's wrong, try again. But we didn't do that. So if left equals bottom, then it's a simple draw. And the simple draw is these coordinates that we're going to. Destination. Oops, yeah, destination. And the source is x0, y0. Because that's where we were. And this one again, end, and this is drawing the bottom. I've written bottom border rather than bottom there. That was really stupid. Right, and that goes from again x0, y0, 0. But I add on pixel size x. I realised I left the self in there. And then we draw to same position here as this one. Okay, so that's the bottom border done. Yep, that bottom border done. Now the right border. If bottom equals right, then we just do a simple border. Otherwise, we're drawing. I've still got border in some of these, haven't I? So I need to change them to B just to make it happier. And this one is the right hand side. Oh yeah, we'll turn off our break timer for an hour. It'll remind us to take a break in an hour's time. Where was I? I was here, wasn't I? So that's what we're drawing to. This is the position we're going from. Here. Nope, this bit here. And y0 plus y pixel. And we'll need to define those because they're not currently defined. Okay, engineers again, right hand side, and that's going to x1, y1, minus 1. Tedious as heck, and it's a pity that it didn't actually do that. So I also need to at the ends do a line ends just to make sure it finishes those off. And we are good. Okay, so now I just want to fix up the fact that I've got border written in here when it won't be. So let's go to that. The text border wants to become B within the selection. Go. Thank you. All right. I think that should work, and we can just get rid of these here. Not sure we have a dprintf define at the top. We don't. All right, let's have a look in main. Main's usually got one. No, module. Module has one. There we go. So I'm going to dump that in there as well. There we go. And we'll turn it off because I don't want the debug coming out right now. Title of the stream is make it look like a horror scene. Okay, fair enough. I mean, if you're trying to implement everything from scratch, things do get tricky. Come on, why did that not? That one, please. Did it not work? That's doing it. Oh, you remember when I said I needed to go and define those? Let's help if you go and define them. Studio.h, and I also want pixel size in there. So we also want pixel size X and pixel size Y. Again, these are going to be wrong, but we'll fix me them. Both wrong. They just happen to be correct for the mode we're using, and so hopefully this will do the right thing. Bum, bum, bum. And running it through emulation. Borders are correct, they're now nice and thin. Thank you very much. And where's the... Oh, no, not that one there, please. Go back again. That's the one I wanted. So that's what it should look like, and that's what it does look like. So it's getting close. In fact, I think it's looking better than my emulated version here. So I think we're looking pretty good here. That's a little bit close to the edge, but again, we can fix that later. Just the sprites that are coming out screwy on this one. Commit -A. Fix the beveled borders to draw thin for plain borders. Beveled borders had not been converted properly from the Python to see. They are now thinner. Thinner. There we go. Better. They're now thinner. They are now thin, not thinner. There we go. All right, that'll do. We should also check whether the actual beveling of the borders works properly, shouldn't we? So let us just make sure I do ends there. Let's do number 0. I missed a H. I'll have a look at that in a second then. This is going to do the icon 0, page 0 rather. Where's page 0 gone? I've lost page 0. Apparently I closed it. Oh, I fixed it, thank you. Yeah, that's the delay on the chat. Okay, so that's wrong, isn't it? Look at that. Look, we've got borders coming out differently here. What the heck? It's overlapping the edges. This is not right. I think this is the rectangle code is broken. I think my rectangle fill in G context is broken, because I think that's why it's coming out edged there. If I go and zoom in just to confirm. Oh, no, you don't do it that way. Go up here. How do I move it? Okay, anybody know how to move things on here? Because I can use the scroll bars, can't I? Yeah, that's definitely coming out wrong, and that is a G context problem, I think. I'm pretty certain that that is not doing what it is intended to do. So I will go and fix that. Yes, I'll go and fix that. Is that right? Do the 1x1 and 2x1 recs draw the correct coordinates? I have no idea what a React Vite app is, but this is all for RISC OS, and it's all intended to be using the primitives that RISC OS has. So that's why it is relatively low level. And what we can see here, though, is that these angled bits are actually coming out sort of okay. Yeah, that looks right. That's got the right beveling on it, I think. Yeah. Most things are pretty minimalist here. Hopefully minimalist. Right, so we need to sort that rectangle out. That needs to be changed, I think, in G context. So I need to go and fiddle with that. Oh dear. Right, libraries. Changing libraries is always a pain in the behind. G context. There we go. Right, if we have a look at the shape rendering code, yeah, so this literally passes in all of the positions, but you expect it not to fill to the Y1, so it really should be doing that. Every time. Triangle fill should do the... Oh, except then... Should it, or should it be our problem to make allowances for the interface? Because a triangle would come out oddly this. The triangle and the rectangle would come out differently if you gave them the same set of coordinates, which would be wrong. So Azurtron's talking about a React app and saying that they can download dependencies straight to the client when the app is installed. That sounds like a very heavy framework that, yeah, we're not using here. This is much more low level than that. This is the sort of thing that those frameworks would be built upon. Yeah, I think that this is that the library is probably correct, and we should correct for it in here. That's what I think we should do. Which makes it a little bit more fiddly, but where's the fill code? Fill code is not in here. It'll be in the plot icon code, won't it? Just look for the word fill. React apps take just 4 to 5 meg of storage and 2 to 6 megs of RAM. Okay, the window manager this is going into is expected to run in about 200K. It's an order of magnitude difference in the type of project. No, I won't boot people, but people misunderstanding the level at which we're working, it's important to be clear on that. So 4 to 5 megabytes is the size of the entire operating system that we're aiming for here. Not one application, not one thing part of the system. I think the teabag burst. No, the session's just fine. If different expectations, if you want to learn about these things, but yes, you can use much bigger applications and the like, but yeah, you've got to do a lot of things differently if you're doing things in a higher level system. This is building the framework on which everything will run. Right, I was looking for the fill code in here. Rectangle fill, there we go. So let's fix that in here, so that we do that. There, that's the difference we've got. In fact, should we just do the... If we made the bounds -1 here, we wouldn't need to... Oh no, I'm going to fix it here. I'm going to fix it in the rendering. Again, these are things that can be sorted out later. That's fine. I don't mind people coming in and having their discussions, because it does mean like this is a very different type of system to what most people are used to, and if it enlightens people to, oh, there's a whole bunch of things behind the scenes that would happen. What went wrong? I'm in the wrong place. That's what went wrong. Then that's cool. Yes, it is kind of like that, in fact. Oh. Ouch. Come on, can we get this working? Where do we get to? Oh, right, that's the big window there. Right, let's zoom that in again, and we can see whether we've actually... Right, we're not overflowing our borders now. That's better. Right, so this bit's over. The text is overflowing, but we need to sort out the rendering rectangle for that. Yeah, that looks better. Even these ones are looking nice as well. So this won't work if we do it into a different eigenfactor mode with different pixel sizes, but it is going to work here. So I think that's okay. Let's put the scale back to normal. There we go. We can shrink the window again. And we'll just do a compare to the expected, which I can't find again. Where's expected gone? Here it is. 0. So yeah, so this one, this is wrong because it's not doing a center, I don't think. I think that's missing out the center, even though it's meant to be horizontally centered. A little bit different on the backgrounds there. We might have to fight that one a little bit. Yeah, of course, shading is not working here. We haven't got faded icons working, so that's something we need to work as well. Right, okay, so what we got, this is the 22. This is the fix for that border, so let's go and commit and amend that. So we've actually got it fixed properly. The rectangles account for the RISC OS graphics. Coordinates, I'll just call it coordinates, being -1, half open. Okay, push that. Now we're going to fight the sprites, weren't we? So we want to get the sprites coming out the right color, and that was on page 3 or page 2. Page 2 is probably a little bit nicer because we've got lots of different types of icons on there. So let's do page 2. I'll move these out of the way. This one here can go over here, and page 2 is this one. Right. And here's my screen. Let's move the other one out of the way. We don't need that anymore. Right, so this is what it's coming out like at the moment, which is oh so very wrong, isn't it? Those colours are not right on in any way whatsoever. Is the entire thing in C, or did you use any other languages? This is all in C. I think the tick's probably just lost into the noise of the red there. This is all in C. Well, this code is all in C. The rest of the operating system I'm testing on is in Python because it's a re-implementation. The original operating system is in ARM assembler, raw ARM assembler, and that's why we're converting it to C to actually have it more manageable, more maintainable, and the like. At least that's the idea. So what we've done here is we've got the color translations coming out wrongly, and I thought we had fixed that. So what we want to do is we want to find out what's gone wrong with it. So let's have a look at the actual sprite call here. And if we have a look at the sprite, so it's using gwrite-c, and what's the other one it's using? Opt-on, opt-off. So if we just start with gwrite-c here, we should be able to get that working. So let's go into the sprite code. This is the sprite library that we were using, that we implemented a couple of weeks ago. Sprite rendering. And we've got a main in here, which will do some testing. And it uses file ff9. So if we just change it from file ff9 to gwrite-c, we'll see whether we get the same effect. And we can see whether we get all the things coming out oddly. So let's build that. RISC OS ammo. Oh, so hot today. pyrodev wx GOS, please. Right. So this is the test for the sprite rendering code. Oh, it's built a module. I don't want a module. Stop that. I wanted to build the test, which was probably makefile test. That's cool. Oh, actually, we've got a command line there that looks like it might be the right thing. Should we just and not the pretty print test? No. AF32 dots. Wimp sprite render. And I don't actually know what the syntax is. What do we have? All forms to print out all the different ways it can render. We just do all forms. Cannot find sprite. Oh, because I didn't icons. I didn't add it to the sprite pool. Because we needed this command icon sprites 22. There we go. And dun dun dun. Oh, it's going to exit really quickly because it's going to just run it and then exit. DOS. DOS. Does that end in boyo on everything? I don't know. Oh, I forgot to make it use the windowing. So it's not if you're going to draw it anywhere we can see. That's pretty dumb. WX for WX Windows. Schools and their teaching of various parts of... Oh, look, it's broken. Excellent, it is broken. That is good. It means we can reproduce it, which means that we can see what's going on, which is really quite handy. Schools have been really bad at teaching software engineering over the years. Just the whole getting an understanding of the whole system. It's all very silly. Right, so that came out as rubbish. Why did it come out as rubbish? What did we do wrong? So it looks like we didn't generate a color trans table for the pixel translations. Wonder why. So sprite render didn't do pixel trans. Let's turn the debug on, in fact. Let's see if we can turn the debug on. More importantly, are there any fix me's? Clipping rectangle. Okay, that's something. Get the pixel translation table. If the sprite is 2 bits per pixel and it doesn't have a sprite palette, other depths use the sprite's own palette. Okay. Using own palette. Using Wimp palette. Wimp 16 color palette. I wonder if that's right. I wonder if we're missing one of the palettes out of this. That's not 2 colors, sorry, that's... Is that 6? Yeah, 2 should be 16 colors, shouldn't it? That's right. Oh. Python and C coding is not too bad. Yeah. So what did we do here? We got using its own palette. Okay. I think that the problem here is it doesn't have a palette. I think that's the issue. Actually, using own palette, now we're going to print out whether it has one or not, which is this. Actually, quote, colon. Doesn't have one. There we go. I think that's what the problem is. Oh, my nose is all tired and itchy. Using own. Oh, so it does have its own palette. What? How very odd. Okay. So it thinks it has its own palette. unless that palette checking code is wrong, which is always possible. If the bitmap is the offset, shouldn't I have called to check the palette existence? Well, could do that, but offset of the bitmap is, that is right. If the bitmap starts after the header, there isn't a palette. That's correct. All right, let's have a look at it. Oh, I can't just have a look at it. It's only one sprite. Oh, fair enough, Chotter, whatever that name is. I'm sorry, I couldn't. Chotterbom Jivonich, something like that. So, what does Python code do? Because clearly that's the bit that's is it icon plot, is it called? No. Wimp icon, Wimp sprite, because that's when we converted the sprite, wasn't it? .py. Sprite pool, sprite op. Probably that one. No, that's not it. So where are we? Did plot icon include this? Oh, I think it's in the graphics. It's in Wimp graphics, isn't it? That's why. Yeah, I remember how my code was structured. So text clipped, text plots. Blah, 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 blah. So that all looks like the right code there. Sprite, get the address of the sprite. Color trans table, source map. Let's do this in split screen again and compare the two. Go back to here. No, not this one. This one here, please. Right. Because clearly it is working. It's just on the other side. It's just not working here. So it's not related to the selection stuff. Oh, okay. Color trans get table size. Color trans get table. So this is slightly different, but we've got the same calls on it. Get table size, current mode, current palette. Now, the question is current mode and current palette actually -1 -1? Because if you're not, we get some very different behavior. And again, we pass them in here. So that being what we're trying to find out, let's have a look in the headers for sprite constants. It's not in there apparently. It's color trans constant, that's why. Idiot. Color trans constant. Current mode is -1, current palette is -1, so those two are correct. Those two are correct. Which is curious, to say the least. Generate that for the palette. Let me do flags. All right, so we try 1 shift left 0 and 1 shift left 4, and then 2, but we're not using that one. So 1 given sprite and return white entries. That's what we think 0 and 4 are. Where's color trans constants again? Given sprite is 0, wide entries is 4. So yes, those are right as well. And we give it the source mode, source palette in both cases. Source mode, source palette. What has the source mode actually been set to? Source mode 27 and the Wimp palette, or mode 256 and the sprite address. Mode 27 and the current palette. Yeah, that's correct, current Wimp palette. And then source mode 256 and the sprite address. Yeah, that looks okay. It's kind of curious. Flags comes out the same. And if we have a look at the output, we're saying with flags 1. Oh, that's odd. 1 shifted left 4 and 1 shifted left 0 and 1 shifted left 2. It's using the color trans. There. Some of them are using color trans, some of them aren't for the color mappings. So some of them have got color mappings and others haven't. Okay, which I think is what's happening there. So if we have a look at it, we can see that it is doing a change in the colors there. They're just garbage. Which is odd. Oh, nice. People are actually using the restyled Wimp. That's quite cute. That's quite nice, I think. What does... Let me just go back to the terminal again. Maybe we should print out the palette, the sprite pointer. Is that... I'm sure that must be right. Sprite with palette %p. Oh no, that was the palette. Palette mode %I palette source mode current palette. Okay, let's build that and just see if how that works. Because this code is definitely coming out and doing a different thing in it, which is curious. Curious. Mode 256, palette, that address, which is, yeah, what we expect. Flags 15 and flags 11. Yeah, not too special there. That's odd. It's always possible when we actually do the plotting, we're not actually using the table. Now that'd be weird, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Where's sprite render gone? Yeah, let's turn on debug for that as well, because maybe I just forgot to pass the right parameters through there. So, yeah, you can stop, that's fine. That's the palette name, sprite name, there with action 8. Yeah, but it doesn't actually say what the pixel trans was, because the pixel trans is important. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pixel trans is build it again. This is why it's so vitally important that you test things properly before you say, that's done and working. Because that's not working. So it looks like we are getting pixel trans buffers being passed through. Just slowly creeping down memory. But they are being created. I suspect we're not actually freeing them at some point here. I think we've probably got a memory leak. But that's a different problem. We'll work that one out later. So we've got this coming in here doing this. Pixel trans is being used. Pixel trans is using the Wimp pixel trans to pixtrans. Get pixtrans, that's this code, isn't it? Yeah. And we set up plot action to be that. We set up the pixtrans table is at that address. Pixel trans plus size of that pointer. Size of that structure, sorry. So that should be okay. Well, my debug is showing me stuff, which is the helpful part of it, but I'm not getting the right. Okay, there's clearly something different happening here. So, what happens? Let's build a basic test case. Let's build a basic test case and see what happens. That sounds like a good plan. Okay. So, yeah, basic test case. Let's look at the. I want to do it. Do I want to do it for a white Wimp sprite up? I can't do it. Sprite up. Oh. No, I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. Go back to where we were. Stop it. No, I'm going to do it a different way. My brain is starting to go a bit fuzzy. Right, debug, color trans. Turn on the debugging, always helps. Right, so this is what color trans is actually receiving. Colors 16 color palette. That I believe is correct. Destination, current mode, mode 27. Okay, that makes sense. Palette 16 colors, fair enough. Table size. That doesn't seem like it should be the table size. It should be 16 entries, not 16 bytes. Yeah, that seems wrong. If the source is 16 colors, that's a sprite. Yes, it knows the sprite. The only reason it would be that's not 16, but what? Yeah, confused. Right. Fed up with this. RPCMU. Let me have a look at what the sprite is. I should probably have a tool that goes and tells me what the particular parameters of a given sprite are, shouldn't I? That would be really helpful. Right, I need to actually make it available to me. So yes, it's in here. Apps. Up from there, resources. Wimp. Sprites tutor. There we go. Right, so what we're looking for is the one called GWriteC. It's a 16 color sprite. It has no mask, fair enough. It has no palette. It has no palette. Are you sure it has no palette? Because it was telling me it had a palette a moment ago. No palette. That code is wrong. My code that's telling me it has a palette is not correct. This is what's going wrong. Oh my gosh. Right, okay. So if we look over here at the render code, sprite has palette, offset bitmap, size of sprite. That's clearly not correct. So I need to look in sprite.py. I'm sure I have a function that handles sprite area. Yeah, I think it's sprite area. No, go back to there, please. Actually, is there a sprite in it? Is that where it lives? No. I'm just going to look at sprite area then. Web program's frozen. Oh, of course it has. Well, we'll just have to switch to the other one then. It's very frustrating because I don't know what actually causes that to happen. Hello, camera. I mean, it's probably been just stuck with me looking perplexed, which is quite accurate. Oh, there we go. Yep. I'm a little bit out of center there. Let me just move the laptop a smidge around there. There we go. Nice and clear. And then we can go back to this again. There we are. It could be overheating. It could genuinely be that. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I have it working absolutely fine when I'm on my work machine, which is a more modern MacBook. But it just doesn't seem to work on my older MacBook. So I'm thinking something's become broken in the way that the system works. On the other hand, maybe it's just that this MacBook kicks out more heat. I don't know. It's all too confusing. So what I want is to know palette. So the palette data is at offset 44 from the beginning of the sprite. So if size of sprite is not 44, something will go wrong. And size of sprite isn't 44. Star sprite, the thing we're pointing to. Sorry, I'm not booting people if they're not being abusive. That's not what I wanted. That's not the right thing. Go away. Oh dear. I feel very... In fact, I'm going to go and take a break in a few minutes and yeah, I'll take a break. Exit. Well, it's not related to what we're talking about, so yeah. Okay, go. And we get still broken. Why breaky? Why breaky? That's nice and slow. If assert size of star sprite equals 44. If that's not true, we have badness. And we'll include assert. Here we go. Sorry, mate. Come on. If it blows up now, at least we'll... No, that it's passing that assertion. No, okay, fine. This is where having a proper debugger would be really useful. Sprite is at %p. Sprite offset bitmap is %i. Palette would be at offset %i. Oh, that's just plain garbage. I'm comparing an offset to an address. Physical education. Comparison of pointer and int. Yeah, that's not a pointer, that's a... Oh gosh. All of this is just... What did I... Who wrote this code? They were clearly an idiot. It was me, by the way. And also not correct. Very, very wrong. What? What? I wonder if this is the palette not being initialized. Here's the palette. Palette init. So if the palette isn't initialized, it would end up with zeros all over it. In main. It calls graphics create. Does that call palette init? It does not. All right then, that will be why the palette is coming out wrongly. Let's add that one in. Sigh. It's definitely art, yes. I mean, since art is just in the eye of the beholder. Oh, look at that! We have the right colours. We had the right colours. That is not the right colours. It suddenly went green. What the heck is that? For Pete's sake, come on. Right, okay, so I think we can turn some of the debug off at the very least, but debug off, and we need to turn it off in, I don't know where else we need to turn it off. Probably color trans actually. Or did I do it as a printf? I can't remember. I think I just did a plain printf in one of these functions. I don't know. Let's build it and see. Oh, gosh. What mode am I running in? That's a good point. I think we're in mode... Ooh, I think we're in mode 27. Let's switch to mode 28. Yeah, mode 27. Maybe thinks that that's... I mean, that probably isn't right either, but let's switch to mode 28. Config vdu.mode equals 28. Ah, they're nice. They've gone green because I told it that the selection color was green. Duh. And they're faded out and they're coming out. Yeah, they're good. I like that. That is right. Now we've got color trans generate table still printing things out. So there's probably some debug still left on in here. No, not in there. Generate table. And this hobby of yours, is it fun? Of course. Yeah, there's definitely a degree of masochism, maybe? I'm not really sure. Debug must be left on in here. Okay, turn this one off. Alright, turn that off. Exit. And we'll do it again, and then I can go for some drink, I think. Oh, why did you pop over there? You decided to go on a completely different window. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Right. Right, with that working, we can now go up to the... Well, no, we can commit this code. Always commit the code first. Git commit, there's a fix for the palette being recognized badly. Palette wasn't recognized. Pointer and offset comparisons don't work. And the palette wasn't ever being initialized. Being initialized. We now do. Right, that may also be a problem in the actual icon code, but we'll see. So not that one. Where's the module? This one here, right? Okay, test that. We'll see whether this module works. This is what it should look like. PNG to the bottom of the build for the icon plots. Yes, yes, that would be probably a good idea. No, the ticks aren't there. It hasn't selected the ticks, the ticked content. Okay, that's Whoever mentioned that, I thought it was just that it was being lost in the background, but no, it appears to be not doing the right thing. Also, that doesn't seem to have faded to the right color, which is a problem. Well, we can fix that though. So the what it should have looked like is, oh no, go away. Flipped the wrong thing. There we go. That's what I wanted. So we've got the nasty inverted one. We're actually doing it better here. This is more faded properly. Although we've lost the background on that one as well. That's odd. Yeah, kind of odd, that one. Smaller, looking okay. Centered right. No tick. Need to sort that one out. Ooh, it's overlapping. That's odd, isn't it? Yeah, they're okay, I think. It's the tick again here not working. Oh, has that done a faded rather than a selected? It's done a selected on it. It's tried showing it as selected when it should have switched to the sprite rather than doing a select. Okay, that I can probably fix. Yeah, probably fix that one easily. But we'll do that after we've had some drink and had a short break. So, short break for 10 minutes. Oh, hang on, do I need to commit the code? Is there anything we changed? No, the only thing we changed is the submodule. So we'll just commit the submodule in there. Update the submodule to working sprite render. Sprite rendering problems were all in the sprite render module library. Looks like they're overflowing with text as well. Yeah, we need to do some clipping on the text, I think, as well, which is definitely needed. Just updating the submodule has fixed them. There we go. And that can get pushed as well. Right, break time. I did think, oh, this will get sorted in the first hour. I was so wrong. All right, breaks on. See you in a little bit. And hello, we are back. Oh gosh. Right, so what have we got going wrong? Warm in here. Yeah, so we've got those are meant to be selected, not they're meant to have switched to the other view. That's it, those are meant to switch to the other icon, aren't they? Hi Alan. Sorry, hi Alan. So selected, let's have a see. It's big, and let's go here. Jump reveal in sidebar. We have a look at plot icon. Yeah, we should be able to find where it handles switching to validation. So validation, because it's going to have some validation code in here somewhere. That handles the S validation. So here we go, icon validation is this one. So that's what it will be doing, copy, not paste, no, find. Find, here we go. If it's a text and sprite icon, sorry, text, sprite and indirected, that one, that's those settings there, then the sprite is the sprite from there. If there isn't a sprite, then it's the text. Yep. So let's see whether we do this. So this is just in the, what function are we in? We're in, oh, the constructor for icon data. Okay, did that get handled in the same way? Don't know. Sprite name, select sprite. No, I think that's a different part of the code. It's text. Because this bit here is the working out what the sprite actually is. Where's it gone? I've lost it. I've lost it. There we are. Yeah, in the initialization that works out what it is. So let's see if we've got an icon data. Is there an equivalent of that? No, there isn't. Okay. So let's go. Yeah, it's going to be in here somewhere, presumably. So that's the render code, which presumably is going to actually need to handle this. Get icon data. There we go. That looks like it's going to be the thing we want. Ah, right. Okay. Oh, that's a bit simpler. Oh, that doesn't look like it's actually doing very much, does it? Oh dear. Ugh. No, that really doesn't look like it's doing very much. Oh, except it's maybe that's this function instead. Is it self get icon data? Yeah, that's just that bit that's extracting the text from things. It looks like. Possibly. I'm not really sure. I think it's synthesized something slightly different out of this. because that's literally just setting the different pointers up, which is similar to this initializing code here. It's interesting it's not actually done these things here. It's very interesting. I think it needs to, because this doesn't also doesn't pass in the flags, so it can't do anything with that. Okay. And then this bit here would be the bit that actually does the work. So where do we get the validation? Validation strings. So validation string cache create, blah blah blah. Borders, validation colors. To do shading. Thank you. Other border selection colors. Thanks. All right. So maybe we should have pushed it to do a bit more on this. So if you have a look in the validation cache header, you should find that there's a bit in here for sprite on offset and sprite off offset, which here it is. Here we go. So if there's a sprite and it's indirected and it's text, that's the this condition here, TSI. We're going to copy it into sprite name here. But this, if you have a sprite on offset, come on, brain. So this needs to be offset equals how do I check if it's selected? Selected sprite. Hang on. On offset. The dog's driving it. I can barely hear it here. Valid. Oh, your jog. Oh, well, yes, I definitely can't hear that one. Right. Validation strings. Sprite selected. Oh, no, it's sprite or it's sprite selected, that's why. Okay. Still don't see how this is made. If the text and sprite isn't a validation, then we fall back to a text string. Yes. Which I don't think we're doing there. Probably not. You will need to check that. Oh, we've got a selected as already a thing. That's handy. If selected, then it is the on offset. Otherwise, it is the off offset. But if the offset was 0, that means there isn't one. So we need, in that case, to... This 0 means... It's memset, yeah, so it should be 0. So if it's 0, then we should be using something else. On offset. Which one comes first? Which one comes first in this? I can never remember. On comes first, then off. Okay. So if on is set, then all's good. If it is selected, then use the on offset. Otherwise, use the off offset. But only if the off offset is not 0. There we go, that'll do it. Blooming confusing. Okay. Let's see if we get that working. If we're lucky, that means we'll get the ticks appearing, which would be good. Very tiring and confusing today, this, isn't it? Whoa! I think they're back to front. This is page 2, isn't it? They're back to front. Maybe that is the wrong way around then. Is it off then on? Validation strings, icons, RISC OS. That'll do. Sprite name, comma selected. It's the other way round. It's the other way around. Off offset comes first, and then the on offset. This doesn't handle the escaping either. We'll worry about that another time. No, we won't. We'll put a note in here. Fix me does not handle / escaping. Okay, so now we swap those around, so that should be the right way around. That's almost certainly my fault when I implemented it, the validation string stuff. So let's take that away as well. Okay, so now having reversed that, we also want to make the sprite not get inverted. So sprite selected is actually going to be a slightly different flag. Now, these pools could be packed into a bit field, couldn't they? Not a thing we're going to do right now, but something we could do. Right. Pool has alternate sprite. That should be off initially. Except this is now around the wrong way. And this just becomes off offset because we know that off offset is set. It's actually going to be use alternate sprite, which is selected if it's selected and we have one. Oh, actually, this is a lot easier. If we do this, then we can call this use alternate sprite. And it just goes to be on, because then we can't use it if it isn't selected or on. And that whole thing becomes so much easier. Well, that was a bit of a waste. And sprite selected equals use selected is that right? If it's selected and we don't have an alternate sprite, no, it's the other way around. Other way around, or no, that's not right either. If we are using alternate sprite, sprite selected equals false. That's what it should be. Don't care about the logic, we'll just make it do that. And then that becomes sprite selected there, and I think that should maybe do the job, maybe, who knows. Let's just try it and find out. My head is getting... Managed to get hold of Adrian. He's having a look at Geminus for 531. Yeah. Adrian must be loving it at the moment. He likes to go swimming in rivers, and with the heat at the minute, I suspect that's really nice because you can go and swim and then jump out and be dry quite easily. Right, that looks better to me. So that background has changed as well. Apparently that background shouldn't change if it's got a selected... Oh, selected should just turn off. It's not just the sprite that changes, the whole selection model changes to change the background. Okay. I can do that. Yeah. That whole need for selected is all... I mean, that's still quite useful, but... So sprite selected goes away. And we go to here. When was that? It's entirely possible that that was the time that they had a lot of extra things at work because one of their main working partners had done large numbers of layoffs. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Beginning of that year, there were a lot of layoffs in the group that they were working with. They were all fine, but it meant there was a lot more pressure on their company. That is public knowledge, I believe, so it's okay. Where's... Oh, okay, that's the one. Let me just close this one and make sure I'm actually getting the right window here, because I'm not sure I've got the right window being displayed. I may be looking at the wrong thing. Thank you. Right. Maybe I should make it use the invert option and then it'll actually look the same as that one. Yeah, let's switch it to using the invert option. How do I do that? How do I reconfigure it to use the color map inversion option? I'm sure there's a setting I can use for that. No. Wimp sprite maybe? Ah, here we go. Oh, yeah, it was in there. It was in there. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. So I want select algorithm should be seller invert. So we should be able to just change that in. Let's just update it in module in the init code. So select algorithm equals Here we go, let's try that. That needs to include color map to make that work. So warm. Come on, show me something. Do fancy stuff. Yeah, I shouldn't be sending this out to the build service. Okay, so now we've got the inverted ones, which means if we go and look at page 2 again, right, background on the icon. Background hasn't been drawn, fair enough. It's not there on these ones either, so we need to do that. But otherwise, I think we're looking good. So let's commit it. Ooh, modified content in the validation strings. What was that? Was that just the, yeah, commit as a fix for the validation string decoding of S being inverted. Push that. It's everything. Fix the sprite selections showing the on icon. Sprites. On or off variants. Mostly. Because looking at it, that's wrong still, isn't it? It should be like that, not like that. So, apparently then, where is it? It's in plot icon here. Because this is where we do the filling with the different colours and doing selection and stuff. And selections have already been made. Here. So if we look at selection, it does the swapping here. That's why. But we make the determination about the sprite to use here. That's irritating. What we could do with is having all of this happen elsewhere. Oh, except it's, oh dear, it's, yeah, quite nasty this, isn't it? Although use alternate sprite is the only bit we need. Yeah, use alternate sprite is the only bit we need. So if we cut that bit out, just put that there, and we cut this bit out, and we move it up here, all of this can actually be determined up here. So actually, no, just below it, sorry. I still need to declare that as a variable. If I put that there, I think that'll do the job. We don't need the all the rest of the orchestration and everything. Ooh, actually no, because that only applies if all three of those settings were set. So we need to check all of those 3 things. Oh, no, don't change that one. Copy that. Nearly ended up editing the wrong way that time. Indirected or context. If that is that, then this bit applies. Let's just force that to false as well. So even if this doesn't happen, we still get it set. Okay. Not commit, no, run it. We did get up to about 12 people viewing at one point, but we lost them after I went off for a break. We always get a drop off when we have a break in this. Which I understand, but I also understand I need a break. Right. No background, no background. Same. Except for the background and the trimming. Same, no background. Yeah, trimming. Okay, they're looking good. So, this was actually the fix, isn't it? So let's just minimize it. There we go. Now we can push that one. Oh. Background fills. How do we do those? So this background fills only apply to certain cases, but I'm not sure which ones. So let's have a look. Render the fill inside the icon. Okay. Colors and some bounding box. All right. Text to render works out what the text is. Split for multi-line, okay. Render sprite. Render text, here we go. So here we are, we've got draw clipped. And then here we go, we've got a fill. If there's no fill background and there's a sprite flag set, draw background behind the text only. So this bit is what we're wanting. And then it draws the text on top of it. We do it across all the height. Interesting. So do we have a draw row? We do not. Do we have a multi-line? Multi-line spacing, here we go. So it looks like it's got 2 different code paths, whereas previously we just have 1 in here. And this one doesn't seem to do it. It knows the width, the total width and the total height, I think. Max width, yep. And it knows the total height. How does it know total height? Oh, total height there. Total height, total width. I got that. Or text height and text width, maybe, yes. And then this is the left position. So TX and TY is the left and right position. So that's what we're trying to implement. Because that's an inner function, that's why. Yeah. Okay, I get you. Right, if there is no filled background, and there is a sprite flag set, we draw the background behind the text only. So, how do we work out if we've got fill? It'll be this bit. If not that, and icon flags Wimp icon sprite. Okay, that works out quite well. Then it's just TX and TY here because we know where we're starting and where we're ending. So rect fill TX, TY, TX plus TW, TY plus TW. And then the colors. Yeah, we're going to have to work out how rectangle fill works. Snooze. Surely we've got a rectangle fill in here. Oh, rectangle fill, there we go. It's the filled background there. And then we've got another one here, which I've lost. There he is. So it's this. Colors background. And those are our back. Oh, and of course we want to do the -1s on this as well to make sure it doesn't go over the wrong bits. One. Oh, I put TW there. That's not going to be right. It's going to be out of the square, but not the right heights. Right. So that's this side. But we also need to do the same on the other side, which is the plain boring example. You can do like this. Yeah, that looks all right to me. Oh, we're actually rendering it at +8. Let's see what happens. I think that's probably going to be okay anyway. I think that's the right thing because I think the +8 is the offset for the baseline. Push, no, not push. I didn't mean that. I mean build. Build and run. And show me what it should be like. Page 2. So we can just about see here that the background goes all the way over to here. If you look at the top of that cross. Not that far. And put it over there. And that was completely ineffective. Wow. Okay. Wonder why that is. Let's have a see. That's not going to be text. That's going to be filled. Yeah, that was plainly stupid. Hey ho. And let me pull it onto the screen, and oh yeah, that looks right. That's gone all the way over to the end of the S. That one hasn't got it, which is what you would expect. I mean, that's broken. That one is clearly not correct. So that's a problem with the what do we call it? The Pyromaniac version. I can fix that, but that's looking good. So we now just need to put the clipping on. So do we have a text clipped? Not sure. Actually, probably be a good idea to try and show number page 0. Because page 0 has got a lot more examples on, and we can see more of what's going on with it. I think that would be a good idea. So let's try doing page 0. You can see particularly this one here. It's like text. That's quite cute. Is what's coming up there. Page 0, there's the screen, and right, yep, nope. So that's not coming out right because it's not fading, but we know that not fading. Again, overlapping text on this. Those are running outside, but they're also looking different, which is odd. Wonder why they look different. Is there any others that look similarly different? I think it's the, if it would overlap, it becomes right aligned case. Text baseline seem a bit high, yeah. So they're a little bit high compared to this, but this is actually closer to what RISC OS Classic does. I think this is wrong. I think this is just too close to the bottom. So I think this is more right in how it's rendering it. I'll need to fix things at the other end because I think this is coming out. The top here I think is coming out right, and that's coming out wrong. So I think it's just the bounds being in the wrong place. Do I have an example from? Did I actually capture one from RPCMU? I don't know. Let me just have a look. Go away, ad block. So I log in. Just going to tear this off and put it up here. Here we go. Pyromaniac. Where's search? There we go. So that's the what we've just done. But this is icon. Just search for icon in this. Are you doing it? Thank you very much. Yeah, I think these are all in Pyro. Oh no, I think we've got crossover examples here. So if we do this one, gallery. Yeah, so RPCMU, a little bit higher there, a little bit lower there. So this is definitely coming out wrongly on Pyro. Backgrounds there, as you can see. It's mostly correct, but not. That's the important bit. It's not quite right. That left line doesn't seem to have looked right as well. It's a little bit odd there. Or maybe that's because it's said, I can't tell, that's weird. That one I'm not sure about. The other ones, yeah, the thing, and then yeah, that's different things. That's me doing window titles. So again, this is nicely clipped here, but it's tighter to the sprite here. So I've obviously left too much gap in there. And here, again, a little bit more space on the left. So there's obviously a bit of spacing that I need to add to it to make it a bit more useful on the icons here. It's mostly coming out okay, but I think just the positioning needs to be a little bit tweaked. Sprite's positioning is actually better on this one. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when it does this, it loses the left pixel. It always puts this sprite underneath the border, which makes it unhelpful for that. But we've actually moved it a little bit further away there, which is a bit nicer. Strictly, this is honouring the icon borders size reductions, which this isn't, because it was missed off on RISC OS Classic. Yeah. So also, yeah, because it's a little bit further right, you're losing the bit of the cross on this one, which is quite interesting. Anyway, yes, there we go. So that's how things look slightly different on the two different systems. So we can do some things with that. Clipping is clearly a issue we want to sort out here, though, because clipping is clearly broken entirely. So do we have a clipped render? I don't know if we do. Did we do a clip? Nope, we haven't got a clip in any part of our text rendering path. So we're going to have to use that through the graphics system. Does the graphics system have a clipping? No, it does not. Of course it doesn't. In the original system here, what do we have? We go here, come on. We have a bound stack, which is a stack of different bounds for clipping things to. And we have in the graphics system, there's text clipped, text as it should be. I think we've got a clipping in here. I thought we had a clipping. Apply clip, we'll apply it to the clipping that we've got there, and you can use bounds. Is a bounds just a bounds, or is it? Not sure. I thought this was a bound stack. Bounds stack. Did I define it and never use it? Oh no, it is there. It is in the graphics. It is a bound stack. Cool. So that's good. So I would need to re-implement that, which is not hard, but it's still an extra thing to do. Excuse me. I mean, at the moment, all I'd really need to do is just call gcontext to do it. No, not that. Oh, in fact, that is gcontext. That's actually the window I wanted. So we go into gcontext here. We do have a clip rectangle we can pass in. So I can do that. And then we pass in null to reset it, don't we? Yeah, so if I go into plot icon, text render, paint. So all of this here, all of the text rendering wants to be surrounded by, fix me, push a clipping rectangle. Graphics to clip rectangle, oops, bracket graphics, comma, and then a bounding box. And the bounding box is that bounding box there. Actually, that's, yes, that's a bounds, that's right. Ampersand bounds, because it's one of them. And then at the end of it, let's say pop. No. See whether that works. Be nice if it did. Be surprising if it did. Oh, sorry, no, that's graphics to G context, sorry. So that should just be G context there. I don't know about you guys, but it is very, very hot here. I went downstairs and it said 31 degrees inside and it was cooler outside. Seven 316. Oops, too many lines. Yeah. So bounds is not a B, it's B box T. Is bounds a bounds? Bounds is an OS box. An OS box is actually a B box T. You're fine. I think they are. I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. We should normalize those types so that they're consistent, but we can just make it work for now. Oh, I also want to check what page 0 looks like, don't I? Pull up page 0. Let's put it on a different screen. Right, what did I just change? What did I just change? Oh, it was the text clipping, wasn't it? Yes, so text is no longer going outside. So that's good. It's not the same text, so we've not lined it properly, but it's not going outside anymore. So that's nice. Let's get that committed. What have we done recently? We've done a couple of things. Clipping rectangle and the background on. Fix for clipping rectangle on text. Add filled boxes for text but sprite not filled. Filled boxes only apply to text plus sprite without filling backgrounds. So that's one of the things that somebody was talking about in the chat, and whether that should happen or not. So that's a potential switch case that we could change. Clipping rectangle is now forced for the text regions. Oops. Right, so also this is doing a different thing. So this is actually centering the text rather than right aligning it. So there's clearly some logic that's going on there that makes the text right align if it was otherwise centered, but was going to go and align that way. And we can check that on here, I think. Do we have an example of it? Oops, let's move it over. That's not it. No, that's that. Oh, do we not have any more? They're not on there. Oh, That's irritating, isn't it? That's quite irritating. Because maybe that's not right. Let me just go back to here. Oh, right. Let's see if we can find any more. So we search for icon. No, I don't think I have one. No, it doesn't catch it. No, we don't have one. Okay. Well, we'll just have to, I guess, trust that one, I suppose. Okay, so let me have a look at the code in Python and see. Ooh, no, that way, and see what we do, because clearly there's a check going on in there around here. Interesting, this isn't bottom, vertical top. Here we go, here it is, get X offset. If a line horizontally is 0 and the text is greater than the width, then put it on the right hand side. And that hasn't been implemented in here, I guess. In fact, it looks like it's probably this code here. Oh no, that's for the sprite. So we have a look in here. Oh no, let's see. So we want text alignment. Get text alignment. Alright, so it just returns the different alignments for it. So it's called a line. If it's multi-line alignment, then they're all zeros. It's zero. There you go. That's where it's gone wrong. So if line each line 0 and what was it? Oh, I pasted a little bit too weirdly there. And TW is greater than bounds. Oh, icon. We've actually got an icon width here. Sorry, I didn't see that. It's greater than icon width, then align dot right line. Let's try that. And show 0 again. Page 0, please. There he is. Oh, sorry, I didn't even notice this. 424. Oh, sorry, if it's centered. Okay. Build. Page 0. Come on, we're looking at this one and this one and this one and this one. Where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put my... Ooh, this is being slow. Maybe the build service is being used by somebody. That'd be nice. Oh, would you look at that? We've now got right alignment on it. How cool is that? All right, so that's now done. We're now left with just this shading. And the text shading is a little bit different, if I remember rightly. Don't know what we do. Let's commit that. Git commit as a fix for right alignment on H-align, but no space. Centered. We actually right align. Oh. Yeah, as Spanner says, Pyro renders it a bit differently. So given that we're actually using the same algorithm as the way to draw this, it's interesting that Pyro does draw it a little bit differently. But I'm happy to fix both of them because we can go and compare the algorithms and see what's going on, which makes it a little bit more fun. So we're nearly there. We can see here we've got this is what we're meant to be seeing, what we are seeing, and this is what we're meant to be seeing. And the only bits that are going wrong now is these bits that are meant to be grayed out. So this one's meant to be grayed out. These two are meant to be grayed out, and they're not coming out right. Oh, this is meant to be grayed out as well, but no, I don't think that's meant to be grayed out. I think that's just the way that it is on that one. Not sure about that one. But this one definitely is meant to be grayed out. So let's have a see what we can do about that. So if we have a look in the plot icon, I think we do something for the shaded. So if I have a look for shaded, is shaded, goes to the sprite, but that's not sprite rendering we're interested in, it's the if shaded, then we call color map shaded for those things. Is that what would be doing it for all of our text? I think it probably would be. Or is that a border thing? Set up colors. Yes, this is set up colors. Do we have a set up colors in here? Oh. Yeah, okay. Kind of looks like it would happen about here, because that's the icon borders colors. Fair enough. Icon data, and it looks like that to do there is the bit that would do this. Set up colors. There we go. Border, I guess the icon border colors into colors, yep. And then there's the validation for C, which looks like we're not doing. Oh, we must be doing it. Yeah, we must be doing that. And then the selection border types there, that's the, and then there's this. So icon borders get default colors. That's just for the border type, isn't it? Check it was passed. If not, assign it. Yeah, fair enough. If it's bordered and it's not slabbed in, then set the background color to the slab in color. That's when we're selected and things. Yep, that's good. Other border selection coloring. Didn't think we had any others. Maybe we do. There's that one there. Maybe there's that to do as well. Maybe we should be doing that as well. That's when we do the fill. but we must have colours sorted out before that. So if it is shaded, we should be doing some colour mapping here. What would that do? Shaded. What do we assign colour map as? It's a resource colour map. Okay then. Who'd have thought it would be in a special function? There we go, colour map. Here's our fun shaded code. Yeah, that looks funky, doesn't it? It's very similar to how we did the other shading colours. Just let me see if we've got that number anywhere. No, we haven't. So that was never ported over. Thank you, Gemini. You didn't do your job there. Or hadn't got round to it and I told it to stop. In fact, is this what the other colour map code does? Because the colour map we've got in here is for the sprite handling. Colour map setup, transform. See that? If we have a look at this, yeah, we've got grey blend. Yep, that's the algorithm. Grey is, yep, that's the same. Select a background blend is a little fun, but that's the one. There you go, that looks near enough identical. I thought we had different algorithms for the text and the sprites, but maybe we didn't. Maybe I didn't do that. Not doing it conditionally there, but that's a little bit odd. So it looks like actually we could just do color map transform and just ask it for the shaded version. That may be all we need. Maybe. So where was I looking in here? It was the bit where it said shading, wasn't it? Yeah, here. If shaded, and manipulate all of our colours using colour map transform. Oh, I probably have to call the setup code, don't I, to do it properly around this. Yeah, I probably have to call this one colour map descriptor. Yeah, this is not very nice at all, is it? But for now it will do. Just set it up. Not convinced this is actually going to do the right thing. And selection background color. Do we have any of those? We have the background color, but we don't have the selection background color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily just force that to be the green. How do we do that? Is that this one here? Somewhere around here we have a code that uses that color. Here we go. 226622. That'll do. Here we are. BG color here. Right. No promises about this, but we'll see what we get. Might just fall away in a big heap here. May not work in the slightest. So I have a feeling that actually in select we have different algorithm used for text selection compared to the sprite selection. I believe that we use just so that the text doesn't become unreadable. Selected background color at 203. Oh, I got rid of that. Oh yeah, because it only takes one parameter. That goes in there, and this only takes one parameter. Oh, and that's not C code. Ah, dear. Int I equals 0, I is less than 6, I plus plus. So this might actually just mangle the colours anyway, but we'll have a see. Still not working because I used index, not I. And color map transform is not the function I should be using. Okay. What was it called then? It is color map transform. Is it not in the header file? It's not in the header file. Color map transform. Now in the header file. Oh, and we need a semicolon on the end of that for a prototype. Yeah, you can tell I'm getting a little slower because it's warm here. So there's 29.5 in here. Still got index in there, 206. Oh. Making silly mistakes now. There we are. Sit up a bit. Okay, it's compiled. And that's not it. Here it is. Ooh, ooh. What do you think to that then? Looks pretty good. Hang on, that's now... Why has page 0 not got a shading on that? What? Now I'm very confused. I thought that one was meant to be grayed out, and it's not coming out grayed out now. It's... Where was my other one? Undo window open, window close rather. That's not, I've not got the icon selected there. Icon. that one. Alright, so that's ended up shaded and it's coming out. Hang on, let me do zoomy. How do I zoom this? Yeah, like that. I'm not sure that's shaded at all. I don't know about that. Huh. I'm not sure why that one's shaded now. That's now confusing me. Because that's okay, that's okay. But now this one's come out odd. BTHV plus S. Here we go. BTHV plus S. Selected, centered, vertically centered, and filled. That's not shaded. And if it's not shaded, then that's meant to be selected. That's what plus S is meant to mean. Did I perhaps set the parameters wrongly on selected, shaded, background color, and then selection color? Only applies if it's shaded. If I take this out, we shouldn't see any difference. It should still be shaded, if looking like it's shaded. That's the old window. Let me just close some of these. Close that one. Got lots of these open now. Yeah, that still looks shaded there when it should be selected. Wonder why that is. It's as if the selection code, if it's got selection and a valid border and a slabbing and things, otherwise simple selection swap if no special border. Otherwise nothing else. So the shaded didn't affect it, so shading is still working. That's good. But I'm not sure what's going on with that one. So we might need to look into that. Not doing anything else special, is it? Selected, centered, not filled. Is that right? So the flags are or BIC. So set, selected, horizontally selected and vertically centered, and clear filled. Curious. Not sure what's going on there. We might worry about that next week. I'll decide whether we're going to continue with this next week or whether it's good enough, because it looks pretty good to me. So we've seen 0. Let's go and have a look at 1 now. page 1. I will go through the list of tick boxes and check that we're looking okay, but I'll probably do that in my own time. Oh, we're still going to make it work 64-bit as well, haven't we? Oh, yeah, we're probably going to end up having to do some next week, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. Page 1. Page 1 looks like this. Page 1 looks like this. That looks spot on to me. What do you reckon? I think so. I think that's pretty good. Spot on. All right. 2 is next. I think we've done all of these anyway, but let's just go through them. Because we've got 0 has got 1 failure on it, which I'll need to look into, but yeah, maybe next week. 2. Oh, where's 2 gone to? Page 2. Page 2 looks like this. Doesn't have any shadings. Yeah, but that one looks like it's been got a bordered shade or something. Yeah, that looks fine to me. Ah, yes, I know what's happened there. So more broken on Pyro than on here, which is good. Yeah, they all look good. And have we broken test 3, which was the multi-line icons? Let's have a look. Page 3. So you can see it's way too low on that there for Pyro. Oh, you put it over there, thank you. Cool. Looks pretty good to me. I'm quite happy with that. Oh, need to go and fix RISC OS Wimp sprite render. Declare color map transform in the header. So it'll work just fine. You'll be able to call the Wimp plot icon underscore plot icon just fine. It won't replace the standard plot icon, but you'll be able to call it just fine. The transform function was not exposed in the header. Push. So if you have a look in this code here, you'll see that we're calling Wimp plot icons. That's a new module, and we're calling just the call for this. So it's doing it all itself. So anybody can test it out and see that it's working or that it isn't, and check what we've got. Right, so we've added the shading in. That's all we've done. Added shading for text and icon colors. So one thing to remember is most of these coding sessions are 1 o'clock till 4. So we do about 3 hours worth of things. We did a little bit more last time, so we did about 5 hours, I think. And we've done just over 3 hours this time, and there's a break in between. And I chatter about things. So basically, this is 1 day's worth of work. This is 1 working day that we've got this working. Now, obviously that's not quite true because we've got we built upon the text, the sprite, the validation strings, but that's what we got. So we got all of this functional in a working day, maybe a little bit more than a working day. There's no tests for it yet, other than, well, there are tests, but they're manual. So that means that we actually have got a lot done, a lot more than you'd normally expect. And a lot of that is because it was already written in Python and we converted it over. That makes a big difference. And of course, there was some of it that hasn't yet been made exactly the same. The clipping isn't quite right and things like that. But again, these are just bits that we can improve on later. Yes, I was just looking at this and going, that looks different to what we had, and it's because I had moved these up here or around there, or sort of something anyway. And it looks a bit different. Yeah. All right, cool. So we'll push that. So you'll all be able to see it if you wish. It is all turning up at this repository. And you should find that in the actions it will build it and make sure it works, which we can just check on now. Changes the formats, maybe longer, so how can names break, blah blah blah. No, none of that's going to matter, or ought not to matter. We're using modern languages these days. Cool. There we go, building, running the code and grabbing the icons. There you go. And once they've built, you see, you should be able to go to the job and see the summary, and you've got an archive here that's got everything in it that you need. Right, so that's gone quite well. That's not terrible. I mean, there's still a lot of expectations and things that have been set in there that are not quite right. We saw the fact that the colors for the button presses are not quite right and things like that. We can sort that out. That's not a big deal. But excuse me. Oh, yeah. The bulk of the code is actually working. We need to go through at some point and tick off things on our list, but definitely we can tick off plain borders, and we can click off that. Maybe tick that one off. Need to check it. Not sure about that. Selected icon. No, that probably isn't working, I don't think. Selected icons. Yep, we need to check those. Maybe some that are missing. Again, shaded, need to check those as well. Validation's all good. True color, I don't think we support true color, but I'll need to check. Oh, we do. No, we do, because we saw the purple ones. Yeah. Font icons not supported yet. They're not supported in Pyro either. And stop using them. They're just evil. Multi-line with line spacing. Don't think we're testing that yet. Color map tinting. Definitely not testing that yet. Overlong text, we just fixed that, and sprite doesn't show. Need to try that one. And then we've got to add in the border filtering stuff, so that'll be a bit more. Then there's a slight difference for when you're outside a redraw loop as well. So yeah, a little bit of fun there. And then of course all of the 64-bit checks, all of this lot on the second column that needs to be checked. So there's quite a lot there that needs to be looked at. And since we do have some assembly code here, which is not difficult, but we've got both the shim for it's only for user mode. That's only a user mode shim. So this should just work. This probably will just work in 64. Ooh. So we'll be depending on two things here. One, that the code will compile in 64-bit, which is questionable. And this may take a moment or two, because it will. And two, that the basic that we've ported will actually run the code we've got here. Wow, that's taking a long time to run. And I know why that is. It's because there's a lot of files that it's having to put in the transform directory. It's a bit annoying. Yeah, this is just going to take a very long time because of the issues with the transform. I wonder how I can fix that in the future. I keep trying to think of better ways to handle the transforms, but every time it's just like, yes, there's a lot of work to do in there. Basically, every time we invoke CC, it goes and changes the entire format of the directories you're working in from the standard format that it's using, the RISC OS format, into POSIX style format. So C/validation becomes validation.c, and it creates the files as symlinks, and it makes that all work. Yeah, that's not going to be right. We'll need to fix that. Yeah, that's probably going to, that may in fact blow things up. We'll have to see. So because of that, when there's a lot of files in there, it's a lot of transforms, and a lot of the time it's heavy and it doesn't always work. So one of the ways that I've tried to get around that is using caches of the files that are present and the files that aren't, and then put them together to make a version that will only synchronize the files that are missing. But it just takes time. And the more files you've got, the more potential ways of manipulating it you could use. Yes, well, it'll only take a moment or two longer, but the compiling phase is tiny compared to the transform phase, which is very silly, isn't it? It could always have chosen to switch over to using POSIX style file name format, but if you do that, then all the rest of the applications break, all the things that you got previously, and all the other RISC OS code you've got. So, yeah, just a bit of a faff. Yeah, there we go. Right, that built us. Oh, that built us the AF, not the module. Oh, you fool! I should have noticed by it doing O64 rather than OZ64. We've got to wait for all that again. Yay! On the plus side, at least we're going to get this built. It'll just take a moment or two. A moment or two. Yeah. Oh well, not the end of the world. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I've not got much else to say now. We've not got much else that's useful. Oh, I might show off a little tool that I wrote. Here's a little play that I wrote. Play what I wrote, sorry. And here we are, right. So if I've built this right, RISC OS lib search. So let's say you are trying to find out which library has got the definition for the mode variable xag. Is it xag factor? You do lib search for that, and then it comes back with hopefully something. Ooh, let's have anything. There we go. You can find it in the header mode variables and in the header VDUXed. And that'll be the include that you use, and those are the values that they have. So it gives you the where you can find these things, which is quite useful. So you could also look for, I'm trying to think, unzipper. Sorry, unzip. Yes, we'll search the unzip things. Lib search unzip, and we'll see Have we got one? Oh, there we go. Lots of things. So yeah, lots and lots and lots of things. In fact, libraries. In the library zipper, we've got these. We've got a number of different defines. We've got some functions. Yeah. There's also interface common. There's got an unzip reference in there. You've got some functions here with the comments describing what the actual interface is as well. And a whole bunch of other bits. So you can find stuff out much more easily. Just find where they are and dig them out of there. And the reason for being able to do this is so that I basically can give it to the RISC OS Window doesn't have a zipper. Well, consult your supplier. Zipper's just a layer of a zlib using mini unzip, mini zip, mini unzip. That's all it is. It took a while to get right, I must admit. But yeah, zipper's there. But again, that's one to consult your suppliers. Let's think of something else. Draw file. So there should be a couple. There should be the general draw file in RISC OS lib, and there's probably the ones in Toolbox as well. So there we go. There's the Toolbox ones, and there's RISC OS lib. So yeah, that's pretty cool, I think. There's a lot of bits that we could do with this to make it better, but yeah, it's not terrible anyway. Right, so now we've got that working. Do I have basic on here? I've got basic there, so I could do pyrodev wx dos 64 load module rm64 slash. Yeah, there we go. Right. Likelihood of this working? Pretty low. I suspect it's going to fall apart big time, but we'll have a see. Ooh, we're running slow here. I don't know why that is. What do? We want to do basic load wimp plot icon test. It's loaded it. It hasn't loaded it. Text load wimp plot icon test. Oh. Yeah, that exited. Oh, that's not very nice, is it? Escape actually caused it to go and blow itself away. We may have some issues with basic and potentially, yeah, okay, new, please. Text load, and now let's run it. Let's see if it works. No, it doesn't. It blew up in the middle of calling plot icon string width. Not sure what it's blown up with there, but I think we tried that before and it blew up. So we're definitely going to need to do some work with that. Yeah, not sure what happened with that. Pyromaniac debug plus just do trace block. Basic. Text load. Yep, you're taking a while, I know. Ooh. Are you actually crashing now? Have you died? Ooh. That'd be bad. That'd be very bad. Basic, new. It does feel like it's not initializing its structures properly. It definitely loaded faster last time. Whoa! multiple problems here. Where's it got stuck in? Signaling escape, friction raises. Oh, maybe it's because I put trace block on. It's just taking a lot longer to run. Yeah, that could probably be it. Pyromaniac, debug, none. Basic, new, text load. Yeah, that's what it was. Whoops. Okay, now turn the debug on. Trace block and run it. And there we go, but we got much more debug out of it this time. It tried to call strlen on a pointer, R1, R0 as it came in, and that pointer was in R1, yeah, garbage. There we go. So we're probably using an int somewhere where we should be using an int32. So that's probably all we're doing there. It's probably just something silly like that. We'll need to have a look into it, but for now, not doing too badly, at least for the 32-bit versions. All right, we'll call it a day there. I'm sorry that we didn't get everything finished, but we've definitely got a lot more done. Next week, we're going to have to look at the 64-bit, and we'll probably have a look at what's going on with that funny shading on there, because that's an oddity. It might be that it's actually a bug in Pyro as well. We'll have to see. All right. See you all later. Have a good weekend, bank holiday weekend if you're in the UK. And next week we'll have another attack at this. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, and always sponsorship is on GitHub as well if you wish to use that. Thank you very much. See you later. What do I do now? Oh, press this one. Yay!